It's a mistake, one far too many people make, to believe that love is something you must force, something you must beg for, something you must endlessly chase. That's the first fundamental error. The person who is truly meant for you, the one whose life is entwined with yours in a way that carries meaning and substance, will not stand passively at the sidelines while you struggle to convince them of your worth. That's not how real connections work. A person prepared for you, one who has faced their own trials, who has forged themselves into something stable, someone who carries the weight of responsibility with a sense of purpose, will not hesitate when they see you. They will pursue, not because they need to own you, but because they recognize the value of your existence in their life. The right person sees beyond the superficial. They are drawn not merely to appearance, not simply to charm or convenience, but to the depth of character, to the fire of discipline, to the clarity of mind that you have worked so hard to build. You must ask yourself this: if someone hesitates to pursue you, if they linger in indecision, if they pull back when confronted with the idea of commitment, what does that tell you? It tells you that they are not prepared. It tells you that they are unsure, not because you lack worth, but because they lack the capacity to appreciate it. And that is not someone you should wait for. That is not someone who will adore you in the way that builds strength rather than weakness, confidence rather than insecurity. Adoration, true adoration, is not blind infatuation. It is not an illusion built on fantasies or unrealistic expectations. It is a profound respect, an unwavering admiration born from witnessing the struggles, the discipline, the perseverance that you have endured to become who you are. A person who truly adores you does not diminish you. They do not seek to control or belittle or mold you into something more convenient for their own comfort. Instead, they elevate you. They see your strength and they cherish it. They stand by you not because they need to, but because they deeply desire to. The tragedy is that so many people waste years of their lives trying to extract devotion from those who are incapable of giving it. They wait, they compromise, they shrink themselves to fit into a space that was never meant for them. They hope that if they just do more, if they just prove themselves harder, they will finally be seen. But the truth is, when someone is prepared for you, when they are capable of valuing what you bring into their life, you will not have to convince them. You will not have to suffer in silence, wondering if they see you, if they appreciate you, if they will choose you. Because they will make it known. This is where preparation matters. You must first be the kind of person that attracts genuine pursuit, not through manipulation, not through games or tactics, but through the cultivation of self-worth and stability. You must build yourself into someone who commands respect, not through demands, but through presence. A strong mind, a disciplined life, a heart that is kind yet not naive. These are the attributes that draw the right kind of people into your life. So when you are pursued, pay attention. Are they chasing the real you, or are they pursuing the illusion of who they want you to be? Are they drawn to your essence, your values, your aspirations, or are they simply seeking comfort, validation, or control? And when you are adored, ask yourself, is this admiration rooted in genuine respect? Or is it conditional, fleeting, dependent on you remaining small and unthreatening? True adoration does not demand that you shrink. It does not require you to sacrifice your ambitions, your intellect, your independence. Instead, it nurtures them. It encourages growth. It fosters strength. It creates a foundation upon which both individuals can build something lasting, something meaningful. Do not waste your time chasing those who cannot see you. Do not settle for lukewarm interest disguised as potential. The one who is prepared for you will step forward with clarity, with decisiveness, with an eagerness that is rooted in sincerity. They will recognize you not as an option, not as a convenience, but as a person of value, someone to respect, someone to cherish, someone to build a future with. And that is the only kind of love worth accepting. In relationships, one of the most critical mistakes people make is believing that they must prove their worth to be pursued. They assume that if they just say the right things, look the right way, or behave in the most appealing manner, they will finally be seen, valued, and chosen. But this is a deeply flawed perception. The truth is, genuine pursuit is never a matter of external tricks or performative efforts. It is not about making yourself more likable or bending to fit someone else's preferences. Real pursuit, the kind that is meaningful and enduring, is rooted in a recognition of intrinsic value that you do not have to manufacture, manipulate, or demand acknowledgement for. When someone truly sees your worth, pursuit is not a struggle. It is not a hesitant, reluctant, or forced effort. It is not a dynamic where you are constantly seeking reassurance, questioning their intentions, or waiting for them to finally realize what you bring to the table. Instead, it is natural, evident, and undeniable. A person who genuinely values you does not need to be convinced to pursue you. Their actions will align with their recognition of your worth because people naturally gravitate toward what they genuinely appreciate. The core issue for many is that they are waiting to be pursued by individuals who are not capable of recognizing true value, and this leads to unnecessary suffering. It leads to self-doubt, frustration, and cycles of emotional exhaustion where one is left wondering if they are good enough. But the problem is not a lack of worth. It is the misalignment between one's value and another person's ability to perceive it. And this is a crucial distinction. You are not responsible for making someone see what they are blind to. If a person cannot recognize your worth on their own, then they are not in a position to value you properly, even if you try to force it. This is why it is dangerous to chase validation from those who are indifferent. The more you attempt to prove yourself, the more you shift away from a position of self-respect and into a place of desperation. And desperation is never attractive. It never commands admiration. It does not elicit genuine pursuit, but rather invites a dynamic where one person holds power while the other seeks approval. This is not the foundation of a healthy connection. A person who is truly meant for you will not stand passively while you suffer in uncertainty. They will not leave you questioning where you stand. They will not offer breadcrumbs of attention and expect you to be satisfied with mere glimpses of affection. Instead, they will step forward with intention, with clarity, with an unmistakable desire to be in your life. Because that is what people do when they recognize something valuable. They pursue it. Consider how people behave when they encounter something truly worthwhile. When an individual finds a career path they are passionate about, they do not sit idly, waiting for opportunities to fall into their lap. They take action, they study, they refine their skills, they seize opportunities with conviction. When someone discovers a passion for a particular craft, they immerse themselves in it. They devote time, energy, and focus to mastering it. They do not need to be persuaded to put in the effort because they see its value inherently. Relationships are no different. When a person genuinely values you, effort will not be an issue. They will not hesitate to express their interest. They will not withdraw at the first sign of emotional depth. They will not keep you at arm's length while benefiting from your presence. Instead, they will move toward you with a sense of certainty. They will make their intentions known, not just in words, but through actions. Consistent, meaningful, and undeniable actions. This is why it is essential to pay attention to effort. If someone is inconsistent, if they are hot and cold, if they give just enough attention to keep you around but never enough to provide security, then they are not truly invested. And if they are not truly invested, then you should not invest yourself in them, because what you allow is what will continue. If you settle for half-hearted pursuit, you will never experience the full depth of what a real connection can offer. The reality is that when a person sees your worth, They act accordingly. They do not gamble with the opportunity to have you in their life. They do not place you in a position where you must second-guess their feelings or decode their intentions. They make it clear that they are interested, that they respect you, that they desire a meaningful connection with you. And this is where self-respect comes into play. The way you view yourself directly impacts how others treat you. If you do not believe that you are worthy of genuine pursuit, you will settle for those who only offer fragmented attention. But when you operate from a place of self-assurance, when you understand that your value does not decrease based on someone's inability to recognize it, then you naturally attract those who are prepared to treat you accordingly. This is why growth matters. A person who has cultivated themselves, who has developed emotional intelligence, maturity, and a strong sense of self will not chase after people who fail to see their worth. They will not waste time trying to prove themselves to those who are indifferent. Instead, they will focus on their own evolution, knowing that the right person will recognize and appreciate them without the need for persuasion. And here's the truth. When you stand firmly in your value, when you hold yourself to a higher standard, the right person will not only pursue you, they will pursue you with the kind of intention and effort that leaves no room for doubt. Because people do not risk losing what they truly appreciate. They do not gamble with something that they recognize as rare and meaningful. So the question is not whether you are worthy of pursuit, because that is not up for debate. The real question is whether you are allowing yourself to be pursued by the right kind of person. Someone who sees you clearly, who respects you deeply, and who understands that when they find something of value, they move toward it with purpose. And that is the type of pursuit that lasts. Not the kind built on games or uncertainty or conditional interest, but the kind rooted in genuine admiration, in mutual respect, and in the undeniable understanding that real value is never something to be ignored or taken lightly. Adoration is often misunderstood. People mistake it for infatuation, for fleeting passion, for the surface level admiration that comes and goes with time. But true adoration is something entirely different. It is not built on mere attraction or temporary excitement. It is rooted in respect and deep understanding. A person who genuinely adores you does not simply admire what is convenient or pleasing about you. They appreciate the full depth of who you are, the struggles you have overcome, the values you uphold, and the strength that defines you. In a world where relationships are often reduced to superficial connections, it is easy to become attached to people who only see parts of you, the parts that serve them, that entertain them, that make them feel good in the moment. But this is not real adoration. Someone who truly adores you does not only love you when it is easy, they do not only support you when you agree with them, they do not only cherish you when you fit neatly into their expectations. Their appreciation of you is not conditional. It is not based on how well you conform to their desires or how much you accommodate their needs at the expense of your own. A person who adores you in the truest sense of the word does so because they see you clearly. They recognize your worth, not because you had to prove it, but because it is evident in the way you carry yourself, in the way you treat others, in the way you pursue your purpose with integrity and determination. They admire you not just for what you do, but for who you are at your core. And when someone sees you in this way, their actions reflect it. You will not find yourself questioning whether they care. You will not be left deciphering mixed signals or wondering where you stand. Their respect for you will be apparent in the way they speak to you, in the way they listen, in the way they show up consistently. They will not belittle you to elevate themselves. They will not treat your feelings as an inconvenience. They will not make you feel as though you must fight for their attention. Instead, they will engage with you in a way that reinforces your value rather than diminishing it. And this is an important distinction because many people confuse attraction with admiration. Someone may be drawn to you, fascinated by you, even infatuated for a period of time, but if they do not truly respect and understand you, their interest will fade the moment things become challenging, the moment you express an opinion that contradicts theirs, the moment you assert a boundary, the moment they are required to put in real effort, their affection wavers. This is not adoration, it is self-interest disguised as love. Real adoration does not demand that you make yourself small. It does not require you to suppress your opinions, your aspirations, or your individuality in order to be loved. On the contrary, a person who truly adores you finds joy in your growth. They encourage your ambitions, they support your evolution, they admire the parts of you that make you unique, even when those parts challenge them to think differently or step outside of their comfort zone. Too often, people accept conditional appreciation in place of real admiration. They settle for partners who adore them only when they are agreeable, only when they are easy to handle. But love that requires you to diminish yourself is not love at all. It is control. It is convenience. It is a weak form of attachment that will inevitably crumble under pressure. A person who truly adores you will challenge you not by undermining you, but by inspiring you to be better. They will not allow you to stagnate. They will not enable behaviors that are detrimental to your well-being. They will hold you accountable, not out of criticism, but because they believe in your potential. And in return, you will do the same for them. Because real admiration is reciprocal. It is not a one-sided admiration of power or beauty or success. It is a mutual respect for the essence of a person, their integrity, their resilience, their authenticity. And this is why understanding matters. Someone cannot truly adore you if they do not understand you. If they do not take the time to learn about your experiences, your values, your fears, your dreams, then their affection is based on illusion rather than reality. And when love is built on illusion, it inevitably collapses. This is why deep connections require effort. It is easy to say words of admiration. It is easy to be affectionate when things are good, but real adoration is proven in the way a person treats you when things are difficult. When you make mistakes, when you express emotions that are not easy to handle. Do they dismiss you? Do they shut down? Do they withhold affection as a means of control? Or do they stand by you, offering support without sacrificing honesty? Do they treat you with kindness even in disagreement? Do they remain respectful even when emotions run high? The answer to these questions reveals everything. A person who truly adores you does not love you only in ideal conditions. Their admiration does not fade when you are at your lowest. They do not see you as less worthy of love when you struggle, when you falter, when you reveal your vulnerability. Instead, they respect you even more for your honesty, for your courage, for your willingness to be real rather than perfect. And this is what makes true adoration so rare. Most people want the illusion of connection without the responsibility of true understanding. They want affection without effort, admiration without depth, intimacy without accountability. But that is not how meaningful relationships work. If someone truly adores you, they will seek to understand you, to support you, to uplift you, not only when it benefits them, but because they genuinely value who you are as a person. This is the kind of connection that lasts. This is the kind of admiration that does not fade with time or change with circumstances, because it is not built on temporary attraction or idealized perception. It is built on an unshakable foundation of respect and deep understanding. And that is the only kind of adoration worth having. Many people believe that love is something that simply happens, that when the right person comes along, everything will fall into place effortlessly. But this belief is misleading. The reality is that meaningful relationships require preparation. The kind of love that lasts, that thrives, that brings genuine fulfillment is not stumbled upon by chance. It is built by people who have done the necessary work to be ready for it. Before someone can pursue and adore you in a meaningful way, they must have cultivated the emotional and psychological maturity necessary for a committed relationship. This is why so many relationships fail. People enter into them hoping to be saved, to be completed, to be valued. They expect another person to fill the gaps in their self-worth, to provide the happiness they have been unable to cultivate on their own. But no one can give you what you have not already built within yourself. A relationship is not a solution to internal emptiness. It is an extension of what already exists within each person. And when one or both individuals lack the emotional readiness for love, no amount of attraction or compatibility can compensate for that deficit. Preparation for love is not about finding the perfect partner. It is about becoming the kind of person who can sustain a healthy, meaningful relationship. It requires self-awareness, the ability to communicate openly and honestly, the capacity to manage conflict without resorting to manipulation or avoidance. It means developing a strong sense of self, independent of a relationship, so that love becomes an addition to your life rather than a desperate need. One of the biggest signs that someone is not prepared for love is inconsistency. A person who is emotionally unprepared will give mixed signals, oscillating between interest and detachment, enthusiasm and hesitation. They may feel an initial attraction, but when the depth of a real connection begins to surface, they withdraw. This is not because love is not possible, but because they have not yet developed the capacity to handle the responsibility that comes with it. A person who is truly ready for love does not run from it. They do not engage in games, in hot and cold behavior, in cycles of emotional withdrawal and return. Instead, they approach relationships with clarity, with commitment, with a sense of responsibility for both their own emotions and the emotions of the person they care about. Another key aspect of readiness is accountability. A person who is prepared for a relationship does not blame others for their emotional struggles. They do not expect their partner to fix their insecurities, to heal their wounds, to carry the weight of their unresolved issues. Instead, they take ownership of their own growth. They recognize their flaws, they work through their past traumas, they develop emotional resilience so that they can contribute to a relationship from a place of strength rather than neediness. This is why emotional intelligence is critical. A person who is ready for love understands how to navigate emotions in a mature way. They do not lash out in anger when things do not go their way. They do not shut down when confronted with difficult conversations. They do not seek control over their partner as a means of maintaining emotional security. Instead, they engage with honesty, with patience, with a willingness to listen and to learn. And this level of readiness does not happen by accident. It requires intentional effort, a commitment to personal growth, a willingness to confront uncomfortable truths about oneself. Too many people seek love before they have done this work. They want the benefits of a relationship without the self-discipline required to maintain one. And when two unprepared individuals enter into a relationship, the result is dysfunction, cycles of miscommunication, patterns of avoidance, and inability to build anything that lasts. But when someone has done the work to prepare themselves for love, their actions reflect it. They do not waste time on meaningless pursuits, on relationships that are built on convenience rather than purpose. They do not settle for partners who lack emotional depth, who engage in manipulation, who operate from a place of insecurity rather than self-assurance. They seek something real, and when they find it, they recognize it because they themselves have developed the capacity to sustain it. This is why self-growth is the most powerful way to attract the right person. It is not about performing, about pretending to be something you are not in order to appeal to others. It is about becoming the best version of yourself. Not just for a relationship, but for your own for your own fulfillment. And when you do that, you naturally attract people who are on the same level, who have also done the work, who are also ready for something real. The person who is prepared for you will pursue you not because they need you to complete them, but because they see in you something that aligns with their own purpose, their own growth, their own vision for the future. They will not play games. They will not hesitate. They will not leave you wondering where you stand. Instead, they will step forward with certainty because they have reached a point in their own development where they are capable of recognizing and sustaining real love. So the question is not whether love is possible. The question is whether the people involved are truly ready for it. Because love is not just an emotion. It is a responsibility. It requires strength, consistency, the ability to prioritize another person's well-being alongside your own. And that level of commitment can only come from those who have prepared themselves for it. This is why you should never chase after someone who is not ready. It does not matter how much potential they have, how deeply you feel for them, how badly you want them to see what you have to offer. If they have not done the internal work to be ready for a relationship, no amount of convincing will change that. You cannot force someone to be emotionally mature. You cannot build stability with a person who has not yet developed it within themselves. But when someone is truly prepared for you, you will not have to fight for their presence in your life. They will not hesitate to pursue you, to show you their admiration, to stand beside you in a way that is unwavering. And that kind of love, the kind that is built on readiness, on mutual growth, on a foundation of self-awareness and emotional maturity, is the only kind of love that can truly last. Many people settle for relationships where they feel unseen, unappreciated, or undervalued. They convince themselves that if they love hard enough, give enough, or wait long enough, the other person will eventually reciprocate with the same level of devotion. But this mindset is deeply flawed. Love should never be something you have to beg for. You should never have to convince someone to cherish you, to pursue you, or to treat you with the respect you deserve. When a person is truly meant for you, their actions will make it clear. They will pursue you with consistency, and they will adore you not just for what you do, but for who you are at your core. The mistake many people make is chasing after those who only offer them partial attention. They accept inconsistency, thinking it is better than nothing. They justify neglect by romanticizing small moments of affection. They make excuses for the lack of effort, believing that if they just wait a little longer, the other person will change. But this is not love. It is self-sacrifice at the expense of self-worth. It is the slow erosion of confidence, the quiet acceptance of less than what one deserves. Real love does not leave you questioning where you stand. It does not make you feel as though you are an option rather than a priority. When someone is truly meant for you, they will recognize your value without hesitation. They will not need constant reminders, ultimatums, or desperate pleas for attention. They will pursue you willingly with a sense of purpose because they see something in you that they do not want to lose. The right person does not leave you feeling anxious, waiting for them to decide whether you are worthy of their time. They do not make you feel small or insignificant. They do not treat your love as something to be rationed out in small doses when it is convenient for them. Instead, they step forward with clarity. They pursue you not out of obligation, but out of admiration and desire. When someone genuinely values you, they make an effort to show it. They do not disappear when things become difficult. They do not withhold affection to gain control. They do not treat you as if you are replaceable. Instead, they invest in the relationship with consistency. They communicate, they listen, they show up when it matters. Their actions reflect their feelings, eliminating any need for doubt or second guessing. And this is where self-respect comes into play. A person who truly understands their worth will not tolerate half-hearted love. They will not entertain relationships where they are left waiting, wondering, or begging for basic effort. They will not settle for someone who only pursues them when it is convenient, who treats their presence as an afterthought rather than a privilege. The right person does not see your worth and hesitate. They do not wait until they are on the verge of losing you to finally appreciate you. Instead, they move toward you with certainty. They pursue you because they want to, not because they feel pressured to do so. And this is a crucial distinction. Many people chase after those who do not truly want them, mistaking temporary interest for genuine pursuit. They believe that if they can just prove themselves, if they can be more patient, more accommodating, more understanding, the other person will finally commit. But this approach only leads to disappointment. If someone is meant for you, their pursuit will be consistent from the beginning. It will not require games, manipulation, or endless waiting. There is a fundamental truth about human behavior. People prioritize what they truly care about. If someone values their career, they put in effort to advance. If they are passionate about a hobby, they dedicate time to it. If they want a particular goal, they work for it. The same applies to relationships. If a person genuinely values you, they will not treat you as an afterthought. They will make their intentions clear. Many people fall into the trap of believing that their love can change someone. They hold on to relationships where they are not truly valued, hoping that if they love harder, the other person will finally see their worth. But love is not something that needs to be proven. The right person will recognize your value without requiring you to exhaust yourself trying to show them. This is why walking away from the wrong person is so important. Staying in a relationship where you are not valued only blocks you from finding the one who will truly pursue and adore you. It keeps you stuck in cycles of frustration, hoping for change that will never come. But when you choose to walk away from what is not meant for you, you create space for what is. The right person will not require you to lower your standards. They will not demand that you shrink yourself to fit their needs. They will not expect you to prove your worth in ways that leave you feeling drained. Instead, they will appreciate you as you are. They will see your strengths, your uniqueness, your depth, and they will cherish it. And when you experience this kind of love, you will understand why settling for anything less is never worth it. You will see that true love does not need to be forced or manipulated. It does not require you to beg for effort, attention, or commitment. It flows naturally, built on mutual respect and appreciation. A person who is meant for you will not only pursue you, but they will pursue you with intention. They will not take your presence in their life for granted. They will not risk losing you by offering you anything less than their best. Because when someone truly values you, they do not gamble with your heart. They do not test your patience or push you to the point of exhaustion. Instead, they treat you with care, with respect, with an unwavering commitment that leaves no room for doubt. So if you find yourself in a situation where you are questioning whether someone truly values you, step back and observe their actions. Do they pursue you with consistency? Do they cherish you, not just in words, but in deeds? Do they make you feel secure in their love? If the answer is no, then they are not the one meant for you. Because the one who is meant for you will make it clear, not through empty promises, but through the undeniable proof of their pursuit and adoration. People often walk through life believing that relationships are purely a matter of chance, that love is simply an outcome of proximity, chemistry, or convenience. But that's a dangerous illusion. The truth is far more profound. There exists a design, an order that transcends human comprehension. An invisible thread woven through time, drawing two people toward each other, not by accident, but by divine orchestration. And when that realization dawns upon you, it won't just be surprising, it will be transformative. You see, the greatest misunderstanding about finding a life partner is the assumption that it is purely your decision to make. As if you could, in your finite wisdom, sift through the billions of people in this world and simply choose one based on preferences, attraction, or fleeting emotions. But that's not how it works. The partner destined for you is already known in the grand design of the universe, yet whether or not you recognize them depends entirely on your readiness. You may think you know who they are. At the very least, you may have a checklist of traits, qualities, or physical attributes that you believe are necessary. But what happens when the name, the identity of your chosen partner, completely disrupts your expectations? What if they are someone you initially dismissed? What if they are someone you never considered? That's when you must confront the uncomfortable truth. Your understanding of love, relationships, and destiny may be far more superficial than you ever imagined. The partner meant for you is not someone you chase after in desperation. They are not a prize to be won, nor are they an individual to be molded according to your fantasies. They are a person who aligns with your soul, with your mission, with the path you are meant to walk. And that alignment doesn't come through mere attraction. It comes through deep, tested compatibility, forged in the fires of struggle, sacrifice, and commitment. But here's where it gets interesting. The process of identifying this person is often hidden in the mundane, the overlooked, the seemingly ordinary. You might expect a grand cinematic moment, a flash of divine revelation where the heavens part and a voice declares their name. But more often than not, the truth is revealed subtly through patience, through lessons, through experiences that refine your understanding of what truly matters. You may have already encountered them. Perhaps they are someone you've disregarded, someone you've placed in the category of just a friend. Perhaps they are someone who has been standing steadfastly beside you, quietly supporting you, while you chased after illusions. Or perhaps they are still on their way, waiting for the moment when you are finally prepared to see them for who they are. And that's the crux of it. You must be ready. You must have the emotional maturity to recognize the difference between infatuation and true companionship, between fleeting excitement and enduring partnership. Because if you are not prepared, you will walk right past them. You will misjudge them, misinterpret the signs, and continue chasing what was never meant to be yours. Think about it. How many people sabotage their own destinies because they cling to superficial ideals? How many people let go of the right person because they were distracted by temporary pleasures? How many fail to see what's in front of them because they are too focused on what they believe they deserve? The name of your life partner will shock you, but because it was revealed in ways you never expected. Perhaps they were introduced to you during a season of difficulty when you were too burdened to notice them. Perhaps they were always there, but your heart was too restless, too impatient to recognize their worth. Or perhaps they are someone you haven't yet met, someone who is still being prepared just as you are. But understand this, your partner is not just a companion, they are a mirror. They will reflect your strengths, your weaknesses, your deepest fears, and your highest aspirations. They will challenge you, refine you, push you toward growth. And if you are unwilling to grow, you will reject them, even if they are standing right in front of you. So what does this mean for you? It means that the first step in discovering who your partner truly is not about searching outwardly. It is about refining yourself inwardly. You must become the person who is capable of recognizing and sustaining a true purpose-driven relationship. Because if you are not that person, it won't matter if they appear in your life. You will overlook them. You must develop wisdom, patience, and discernment. You must let go of illusions, of the shallow and fleeting, of the impulsive and reckless desires that cloud your judgment. You must understand that love is not found in instant gratification, but in the quiet, consistent effort of building something real. And so, when the revelation finally comes, when you finally see the name, the identity of the person you were always meant to be with, you will realize something profound. It was about becoming ready to receive them. And when you are ready, you will recognize them, not just with your eyes, but with your soul. People often misunderstand the nature of destiny, believing it to be something entirely predetermined, as if they have no role in shaping their own path. At the same time, others assume that life is entirely within their control, that they alone dictate the course of their relationships and outcomes. The truth, however, lies somewhere in between. While your life partner has already been chosen in the grand design of the universe, it is your choices, your mindset, and your emotional growth that determine when and how you align with that person. This balance between destiny and responsibility is often difficult to grasp because it requires both trust and effort, faith and action. Many people struggle with this paradox, either waiting passively for the perfect partner to appear or trying to force relationships that were never meant to be. Neither approach is effective because both ignore the fundamental truth that destiny is revealed through preparation. If you are not ready, you will fail to recognize what is meant for you, and in that failure, you may delay or even sabotage the union that was divinely intended. Every meaningful relationship requires a foundation of inner growth and self-awareness. You do not simply stumble upon the right person and expect things to fall into place effortlessly. The idea that love should be easy, that the right partner will arrive without challenges, is a dangerous illusion. Even when someone is meant for you, there is still work to be done, lessons to be learned, and personal refinement that must take place.